Hello Queen fans, I'm confused the new Freddie Mercury new documentary, because in Days of Our Lives documentary, there is a excerpt there when Roger say his 300 yards away when Peter Freestone rang him saying don't bother coming because he's gone. In the new documentary Freddie Mercury The Final Act, there is also a excerpt there when Roger, Brian and John, saying they knew Freddie was gone, through the news. That's my understanding. I don't know if my understanding is right or wrong, that's why I'm confused. What do you think of the new documentary Freddie Mercury The Final Act? Comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share. And here is the excerpt of Freddie Mercury The Final Act. The 2 weeks of Freddie Mercury.
The last 2 weeks of Freddie's life, there was the same people in Garden Lodge. There was Freddie, Jim, Joe Finelli, and myself. Joe Finelli was diagnosed with HIV. Jim was diagnosed with HIV. He had already made the decision he would have no more drugs that were keeping him alive. The only thing that he would take would be painkillers. And for those last 2 weeks, he slowly let go.
There was a huge press of media surrounding the house, even photographing the groceries in the back of the car, and, it was all pretty sick, actually. I think I tried to run somebody over and failed.
My mum visited him more time than Dad. I don't think Dad could take it, because he looked like a skeleton towards the end. And I remember very clearly my dad was reading one of the many articles, and tears were pouring down his face onto the newspaper. And he said, "This should have been me instead of Freddie." I remember that so clearly. It was so sad.
And now the shipping forecast. There are warnings of gales in Thames, Dover, White, Portland, Plymouth, and...
Joe called me, I think at about 5:30 in the morning, and Freddie had basically gone into a coma. So we called the doctor, and he made Freddie sort of comfortable. The doctor had literally just left the house, and we went up. And Freddie had moved, you could see he had moved a bit. And as we were changing his T-shirt, we just looked and saw his chest had stopped moving.
A day after revealing to the world that he had AIDS, the rock star Freddie Mercury has died.
The day he died, we spent the whole night at my house in Kensington at the time. The three of us just trying to make sense of it, and then it came up on the news in the early morning.
Good morning from Sarah and me. You're watching the BBC's Breakfast News. It's 6:30. The headlines this morning, Monday, the 25th of November.
Maybe it shouldn't have been, but it was an awful shock. And Roger and John and myself got together, sat, kind of had a cup of tea, not knowing what to say, and then we put the TV on.
The pop star Freddie Mercury died last night in London.
We almost stopped breathing because that's when we believed that it had actually happened. The fact that it was on the news made it real.